Theo, hang on a second. I just want to. I don't know if we'll get to it, but a lot of thanks and appreciation to this football team for the sacrifices they made to guarantee that we got the 15 practices in a real tough atmosphere in the world, and the commitment they made to each other. Appreciation for the trainers, video, equipment, Billy Meatballs and Bobby the Painter, all of you. That was an excellent spring ball, and gives us a real nice jump off going into the summer lift. So, Theo, are you on?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Just to add on to that, what do you feel like is the most important thing you guys were able to accomplish in these 15 practices?
Camaraderie. Understanding that we'll need each side of the ball to win football games. I thought the competition was healthy, yet at a high level. I think they learned, you hear these terms, practice like a pro. There was a lot of fun in practice. There was a lot of I think light jawing where nobody took it personal, but it led to greater enjoyment and higher intensity when there was competition. I think they took care of each other. It's just what a group to be around, and I just think they will play the game in a way that Cougs will appreciate.
How far do you think the offense has come in their comfort level with the scheme since you guys started camp, and now that you're done with it?
Oh, we were. None of that looked like the fall to me. I think they've done a nice job. I do think we plateaued offensively towards the end of spring, for various reasons probably, but I do think their effort and their want to be good. I think it's very important to them, the journey they're on as part of this football team. But I thought we did a lot of good things offensively. We're definitely more prepared. I mean, I'd rather go into that four-game season how we are right now than how we were after whatever kind of training camp we were able to have in the fall. So that's a positive, but we have to assume everyone else in the conference and every team on our schedule is feeling that way also. So the one thing about this game, it will find a way to humble you if you don't stay on the grind, and I think our guys understand that.
How can you tell when a team is more mature and more developed in the run and shoot offense? If it's something that maybe you're seeing from the quarterbacks, from the receivers, from the offensive linemen, or a little bit of all three? Is there something that's really evident to you that these guys have spent more time in the offense now?
I think the offensive line was much more consistent. Not a lot of thinking. Pretty clean communication. I think every rep we can get between the quarterbacks and wide receivers, something is learned, or something is tightened up. And some of the when they can answer their mistakes before you have to tell them what it is. When that starts happening more often, and then eventually it disappears. When they can have high level conversations in between series. That's where it translates to inside of a game, where they can give you information you can use in a high intensity environment, high pressure environment. Those type of, it's not, what do I have here? It's, okay, he played me this leverage and I saw the safety coming over, and then you could start really, it's not necessarily a light bulb goes on. It's more of a dimmer. Right. And every time they get a little bit better, it brightens up a little bit more with that dimmer dial.
And I'll get one more quarterback question in before we talk to you in August. Where do you think Jarrett and Cam are right now in their development? And have you seen any separation between those two guys after 15 practices?
I think I probably said this multiple times in these interviews, but I think Cam is way more comfortable in what we're doing. I think he's has some anticipation. I think he's playing looser. I think he's playing with more confidence. I don't think the separation is is the discussion right now, because I don't think we're good enough at that position. So they need to continue to get better throughout the summer and in the training camp. But the effort they put in, and everyone knows when you go to a QB room, right? One guy's going to play most of it. So once that elephant in the room is accepted, and you don't worry about what the other guy does, you just worry about your reps and your decision making and your balls, and don't let somebody else's performance pressure you into bad decisions. I think you see an elevation of the whole group, but we strive to be the best quarterback room top to bottom in the country, and we got a little ways to go, in my opinion.
All right, any other questions for Coach Rolovich? Please raise your hand and we'll call on you. Coach, next one's Zach from Coop Fan. Go ahead, Zach.
Zach with a K.
There he is.
Yes, sir. How's it going?
There you are. Good.
Coach, had to pick one or two on offense and one or two on defense. Who do you think the MVPs of the spring are, per se, if you had to choose a couple?
I would say Deion McIntosh would be in that conversation. I think for the talent and history of playing that Abe Lucas had coming into the spring, I think he even played better. I think Brian Green had a good camp too. Travell Harris, those are probably, I know you had wanted one or two, but defensively, I saw a rise in RJ Stone, who has an incredible personality that's very magnetic. He will be, but we talked maybe not a lot, but I've mentioned to it multiple times that he has the ability, just by his gift of personality, to be a tremendous influencer leader on this team. And I think Coop has done a nice job growing him, and I think he's accepting that and using that skill and his personality more and more positively for the team. I would say RJ, I mean, it's hard to do an MVP. It really is. I think D Lang had stepped up his game, accepted the challenge Coach Rich gave him, and became a better player this spring. Really happy with the cornerback position. I think Jihad is mastering the system, really enjoying it. He seems like he's having fun when he's out there. So I don't know if that's probably a terrible answer for you, Zach, but who's your MVP, Zach? You watch them all.
Shoot.
Yeah, see, now you're stuttering like me. Yeah, you see.
Coach, another kind of wrap-up spring.
Oh, you didn't answer. You didn't answer, Zach.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Defensively,
Yeah, see.
I liked what Armani Archie did.
Yeah, Armani Marsh had a really good camp too. You see his body changed a lot over the winter.
Yeah, and Armani Archie.
Archie played well.
I agree with you, D Lang and Deion McIntosh on offense.
You're like a young Mel Kiper coming up. I like it, Zach with the K.
Trying to be.
All right. What's your other question? I'm sorry.
I'm going to ask you if there's any plans for the sand pit, if you guys plan to maybe turf that over, put new sand in it, or if there's any summer plans for that area.
I don't know the timeline on it. I know we're looking to turf that at some point just for more room for the O-line. We might have a luau in it before it goes. I don't know if we can bury a pig on campus or not, but I'll address the correct authorities when that time comes. But that's I don't know the details on that. Sorry.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions for Coach? Coach, go ahead, Theo.
Yeah, just a couple more. I actually had one personnel question that I forgot to ask you a few times. We haven't seen Dylan Sherman at all in camp. Is he still with the program, or is he just kind of rehabbing from an injury right now? Or I don't know if you can talk about that.
He is dealing with some health stuff that he's just dealing with right now. I think he's in a decision-making mode. Been a wonderful Coug, and whatever he decides, we support him because he's given a lot for this place. And I don't want to speak for him at this point.
Right. And since the NFL draft is happening right now, do you think the draft is a good gauge for where a program is? Obviously, not necessarily with your guys' program right now after just a year, and you've had a lot of guys come back that could have had a chance to get drafted. But years down the road, will you kind of look at how many guys get drafted as a mark of where the program is, or do you kind of avoid reading into it too much?
Well, no, I think that's fine to look into. I think it does have some correlation. I think over. I think your sample size of years is not judged on 1 or 2 years. I think, right, you start seeing consistency year in and year out, guys getting drafted. I think that's when you feel like you're doing everything you promised these kids to give them an opportunity in the NFL as they're sticking a degree in their pocket, walking out of here with rings and hopefully getting to the combine and getting drafted. And I don't want anybody on this team that doesn't want to get drafted or want to keep working to get drafted. So it's not my job to kill dreams. It's my job to teach these young men how to be great members of society, yearning to be possibly a great father someday if they choose that, or getting married and being a great husband, but also making a positive impact in society when they become a member of a community outside of here. But no, I think as a coach, you would look at that. I mean, I know some people probably say they don't, but I know next year we get a few guys drafted. That'll feel good. That'll be good for the program.
I know that you're a lifelong Niners fan. What do you think of Trey Lance going at number 3 there?
I kind of like Trey Lance, to be honest with you. I can't say that I studied him a bunch, but I saw one game it may have been 2 years ago, and he was just very impressive with the size and arm strength and how he led that. I wish I think I might have tweeted about it, but I kind of liked him. I did.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, last chance for questions for Coach Rolo. Last chance.
That's it.
That's it.
Hey, Theo and Zach, appreciate you guys all spring being around and giving these guys some love, man. Appreciate it.